What is up, AnimeBallZ fans? This is Ray with another episode of What's New Japan. This week we'll be looking at animes that haven't come out in Japan yet, but will be coming out in Japan during the months of June, July, and August. That's right, I'll be looking at their summer and Australia's winter release schedule. So, what is What's New Japan? Well, as I just briefly explained, it's where I find out what's coming out in Japan over the next couple of months, tell you about it, hopefully you find it interesting, and you decide to check it out when it finally gets an English release. So that being said, let's get started. First anime I have for you today is Campione. I've probably mispronounced that. It looks a lot like the Spanish word for champion, but I could be wrong. Anyway, this anime, I'm going to put a disclaimer on, it is for a very specific audience. People like Criddle is the least offensive way I can actually describe the audience that this anime seems to be targeted at. The basic premise is it's a harem love comedy plus magic battles. Kusanagi Godo is a 16-year-old high school boy who once killed the god. Now, give me a second, I need to get this right. Verafagana. Don't even know what the hell that is. But because he did that, he acquired the title of Campione, which apparently means God Killer. And this happened when he was 15 years old. Erica Bandelli is a 16-year-old Italian girl who was a great knight of the Magic Society Bronze Black Cross, and had fought together with Godo to defeat the god that he killed a year ago. Godo doesn't like fighting, but his title of Campione makes him get involved in battles against other Campiones and uncontrollable gods. So basically, it's like, I don't want to fight, but because I have this really good title, everybody wants to challenge me. Again, looks like it's for a very specific sort of audience, but hopefully there's something in there that appeals to a lot of people. Chances are I'm going to have one of my friends recommend this to me, and I'll have to sit down and watch it with him for a bit, but you don't have to check it out if you don't want to. If it's not your cup of tea, I'm not going to blame you. Anyway, moving on. Next up on the list is an anime called Tari Tari. Really weird name, but not as weird as what the description of the anime seems to be. And it goes as thus. Wakana Sakai once took music lessons, but she withdrew from music after losing her mother. Konatsu Miyamoto is a positive-thinking girl who loves singing and spends time after school at the vocal music club. Saya Okita is a spirited archery club member who dreams of becoming a horse rider. Daichi Tamako is a chronically late badminton team member who lives with his college student sister. Ween just transferred into Wakana's class after 12 years abroad in Australia. And music brings all these characters and others together into an ensemble during their last summer in high school. If I had to think of a less confusing way to describe this, I'd say it sounds incredibly like K-On!, which I must admit I haven't actually seen any of, because it wasn't really my thing. But this looks like it was drawn by the same person as K-On!, and it has more or less the same premise as, i.e. music good, bring people together. The details change, but the overall message is the same. Anyway, if it sounds interesting to you, I do recommend that you check it out. Again, this isn't going to be something for everybody's cup of tea, but hey, you like it, check it out. You don't, there's going to be something else for you to watch. Moving on. The first thing I have for you this week on my list is an anime that Criddle holds very dear to his heart. That's right, it's Fairy Tail. Fairy Tail, Fairy Tail, Fairy Tail. Fairy Tail. What about Fairy Tail, I hear you asking? Well, it seems that the creator of Fairy Tail is bringing out a movie. And it's called Fairy Tail Ho-Oh no Miko. I've probably mispronounced that, but hey, I've resigned myself to the fact that I must be the new Google Translator. So the basic premise of the film is that it revolves around a mysterious girl named Eclair, who appears before Fairy Tail, the world's most notorious wizards guild. She's lost all her memories, except for the imperative that she must deliver 2 Phoenix Stones somewhere. The stones may spell the collapse of the magical world, so Natsu, Lucy, and the rest of the Fairy Tail Guild must race against time to deliver these Phoenix Stones. Anyway, as I was saying, this looks really good. I've seen the trailer for it. It says nothing at all about what the movie's about, but it makes you want to go see it. Definitely. Criddle's probably having a fangasm about this as I'm speaking because, again, it's Fairy Tail. And I just cannot get over how awesome it looks. I will be recommending this to every one of my friends. Whether you have seen Fairy Tail, whether you haven't seen Fairy Tail before, go see this movie. If you haven't seen Fairy Tail before, at least watch Fairy Tail or read it so you know what the characters are. But definitely go see this film. It hits Japanese theaters on the 18th of August, so you could try and save up the money to go to Japan and catch it there if you know how to speak and read Japanese. Or you could just wait for it to get a English release out here, because it's going to get an English release because it's Fairy Tail. And Madman, I'm pretty sure Madman owned the English release of Fairy Tail, so they're not going to let something like this go past without an English release. Anyway, I think I've said Fairy Tail too many times, so I'm just going to keep the ball rolling. So at the end of another week of What's New Japan, what have I told you about? I've told you about an anime that is directed towards ecchi teenage boys and god-killing. I've told you about an anime that sounds suspiciously like K-On! A little bit, with music and girls having fun and whatnot. And finally, I've told you about Fairy Tail. Fairy Tail, Fairy Tail. Fairy Tail. Because Fairy Tail is awesome, and there's nothing more I can actually say about that except go check this out as soon as you can. So, that wraps up another week of What's New Japan. Again, I can't stress this enough. Make sure that if you're in Melbourne during June 30th and July 1st, you go down to the Melbourne Exhibition Centre and check out Oz Comic Con. There's going to be television stars there. There's going to be film stars there. There are going to be major voice actors there. There's going to be AnimeBallZ there. So make sure you're down there. Otherwise, you will be missing out and kicking yourself for the next 6 months because of all the awesome stuff that you've missed. Anyway, I'm trying to keep this one a bit shorter than usual. My name's Ray. This has been episode 12 of What's New Japan. Catch you.